Gaming. It's fun, addicting, and it's apparently the reason behind every modern incident if you believe journalism. So Call of Duty Immortal Warfare is why my Amazon stocks crashed. Okay. Speaking of crashing, yeah, my old top 10 favorite game franchises video certainly crashed into a wall because a good majority of it, after being posted on YouTube, was somehow removed, leaving it an incomplete mess. So basically, most of my countdowns from 2 decades ago. However, it's 2031, and I'm slowly starting to get back into gaming now that Diana's getting ready to head off to college. So how about I remake that old video and do a better job of discussing my favorite video game franchises. But what is a franchise? Well, I could pull up the Wikipedia definition, but all I see on the page is the sentence "shut up and get to the point," so I'm just gonna say that if it has at least 3 games under its belt, it counts as a franchise to me. However, spin-offs with a bunch of sequels don't count as a separate franchise for this list, since they're still connected to the main series/franchise. Alright, let's begin.
You've gone from daddy to death.
Kicking off this top 5 is a franchise I fell in love with back when I first played the 3rd installment on the 3DS, Monster Hunter. Now, on the surface, it sounds like it'd be an incredibly monotonous game series. Beat up monsters, get the parts to make better armor and weapons, and then repeat the process, but despite all that, this franchise managed to make what I would deem a monotonous and tedious premise/process fun. One of the reasons for this is having a wide and large variety of monsters to hunt, each with varying elemental types, fighting styles, and mechanics that manage to keep you on your toes throughout the fight. Sometimes you can fight something as simple as a bear, but other times, you could be fighting a volcanic T-Rex or giant enemy crabs. And a lot of the games have harder variations of these creatures that not only give you better parts, but also change up their patterns a bit to make the experience of fighting this similar monster you already beat up earlier more unique and fun. What I also love about this franchise is the huge amount of variety you have in slaying or capturing these creatures. You got swords and shields, lances, a goddamn horn, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. There are also elemental variants of these weapons, and guns. Needless to say though, the customization and variety in this franchise is an element I absolutely love. I also adore the music, and even the story is pretty decent in each installment. It's a franchise I keep coming back to because while it can be very, very lengthy, I have so much fun beating up these monsters, customizing my weapons and armors, or my kitten's companions' weapons and armors, playing with my friends online or offline and jamming out to kick-ass music, that I'd gladly do it again and again. Responsibly, of course. A pity, though, that the movie adaptation was not handled responsibly.
Alright, we've taken you.
So I forgot, where was that on your top 10 favorite video game franchises again?
Pokemon. Yes, I know. Hold the surprise! In all seriousness, Pokemon's a fun franchise, and one that I hold very close to my heart ever since my first experience with Pokemon Silver back on the Game Boy Color. Whether it be for its story, huge amount of Pokemon to collect, fantastic music across every generation, really well done spin-offs for the most part, its collection of great characters and foes, the freedom to customize your team and your character in later generations, each generation adding something new and exciting to the franchise for the most part, the online where me and my friends spent hours and hours catching Pokemon together like in Gen 8, or beating up each other's teams, the franchise is one I will not forget even now that I'm nearing my 40s. Yes, it's had its missteps every now and again, especially in modern times, which is mainly why it's not much higher on this list, but I would absolutely be a fool to leave it a franchise that has sparked so much fun and creativity in me, so at long last, Pokemon is on my favorite game franchises list. Now, if only I got around to picking up the Gen 4 remakes or Arceus' game, because, yeah, 2031, we're on Gen 10 now, so, I got a lot of catching up to do.
Hey, Twink!
It's been a long time since I did cringe in these countdowns. I kind of already did that earlier, but fuck it. Let's do it again for this list. When you walk away, there's a new land. How did I live in a kingdom of thieves? Faith. Should I take a leap? And the answer to that is yes. To a place called The Point, because now I get to gush about Kingdom Hearts finally. Holy fucking shit, I love this franchise. Yes, it has a convoluted story as time went on. Yes, the dialogue can get repetitive with this talk of darkness, hearts, and Kingdom Hearts. Yes, some of the characters deserved a lot better treatment in the series, but despite my issues with this franchise, it still manages to make up for that in fucking spades through its fantastic musical score combining remade versions of classic Disney/Square Enix songs, and also original compositions that improved as the series went on. The concept of combining Square and Disney properties was also an element I fucking loved, and that's not even getting into the gameplay, which, holy shit, is super addicting and fun. And as the series went on, it only got better and better. This is giving us the inclusion of reaction commands, which made the fights even more fun and unique than before. Drive forms, better gummy ship stages and controls, more bonus content. It's fucking great. However, it's because of those flaws, they keep it out of the top 2. But, still a really great franchise, and I'm super happy I get to talk about it, and I was super happy to replay through this series again, and I'll probably do that again when the next game comes out.
Fuck Walter!
The final 2 entries on this list are fantastic franchises, and mean a little more to me than the other 3 entries in terms of the gaming portion of my heart. However, when picking the best of the 2, I thought about which one had more games I enjoyed than the ones I didn't, so here it is. Yet another franchise I did not talk about in my original list that I'm rectifying today. Starting off with the Zelda Collector's Edition, my journey into the Zelda series has been one full of Everest-reaching highs, but also deep, dark abyss levels of low. But despite the latter occurring, it is a journey I don't regret at all, because Zelda has become my favorite characters, weapons, dungeons, music, stories, and even bosses in gaming, all wrapped up in a nice little bow that is the games themselves. Even the ones I don't enjoy that much have really good things about them, like Skyward Sword's music and bosses, as well as Twilight Princess's bosses being pretty good. Hell, the final boss fight of that game is one of my favorite final bosses in gaming, and as the years go by, I still occasionally replay these games, whether it be their vanilla versions or randomized versions, because not only are they so much fun and engaging, but I also replay them just to find any other deep trinkets and secrets I didn't find on my previous playthrough, which is an aspect that may or may not have been the reason I got into Metroidvanias later on in life. Not that I'm complaining, that is a fun genre to me. These games have also sucked a lot of hours from me, and like with Monster Hunter, I have absolutely no regrets with that. Whether it be me playing through Wind Waker again, playing a co-op version of Ocarina of Time with friends, exploring the vast beauty that was Breath of the Wild's area, spending over 150 hours in Age of Calamity trying to get everything, doing everything in Majora's Mask. Even the side quests were a lot of fun in this series, sometimes even having stories way more interesting than the main one, like the aforementioned Majora's Mask. And I'm sure I'll do that time sink all over it again when the next installment comes out. Or whenever I dust off my 10-year-old copy of Breath of the Wild 2. Needless to say, Zelda is a lot of fun for me, and I love this franchise. But it's not number 1, because that one is probably expected for some of you if you watched my recent content. But fuck it. I know I'm supposed to do a number transition, but for this one, I'm gonna do my own cringy version of justice, because we're breaking the law, breaking the world, Kawase. Kirasake Tennanet. Yakuza is an over-the-top, ridiculous beat-em-up game franchise, and I fucking love it. I love its cast of characters and the character arcs and development. I love its fluid and concise fighting system that gradually gets better and better with each sequel. I love the multiple fighting styles you can use, all of which are very unique and satisfying to use and level up, except Beast style. Fuck that thing figuratively, and go to Brazil if you want to fuck it literally. I absolutely love the story. It's engaging, well-written, and kept me on the edge of my seat in every game because of the surprises and action that made me want to know where they went next, and they usually did a good job with meeting those expectations. In addition, the mini-games and side content are handled so well, just as well as the main game, with hours and hours of content to their name, and well-written stories for the side content on top of it being really fun. Hell, even when they changed the gameplay style in the main series to more of a turn-based RPG with Yakuza 7, they managed to do a really good job with that, and it was a hell of a lot of fun. Like with Zelda, I've sunk in so many hours into this game franchise during my downtime, and I have no regrets because of how much fun it is, whether it be engaging in the minigames, side content, or advancing the story. And since Yakuza has had more games I have enjoyed more than Zelda's, it's easily number 1 on this silly dumb list. I'm the blankety blank, and thank you for watching.